Welcome back to class, everybody. I am Ethan from the Weebology podcast.
And I am your safaring Professor Ricky. Nature's wonder.
Excuse me, safarying?
Yes. it's a story that happened yesterday where I was looking for my friend's lost cat Smush for a while.
Yeah, I
and
saw
near,
that.
near the downtown area. And I went back into a bamboo forest because I heard some rustlings that didn't sound rodent-sized. And I come up and I turn my head unexpectedly.
It's a Wolverine.
A giraffe. Straight up a giraffe just looking at me.
Huh.
I'm like, huh. Oh, wait, I'm behind the zoo. So now I know where to go for a free ticket to see the giraffes.
I have so many questions.
Yesterday was a strange day, to be sure. It was an interesting day. But I
Why are you looking for his cat next to the zoo?
because that's where they live. They live in Washington-ish place.
I just feel like if the cat is near the zoo, there's a 90% chance he's gotten into the zoo.
Yeah. The other thing, too, is the search party was a week and a half after it got out.
This is so dumb.
I know. It wasn't about actually finding the cat. It was putting her mind at ease that everything was done.
Uh-huh.
So that's where I'm putting that. But I am in agreement with you as a academic boy. The math doesn't check out there, Chief.
I would have been like, I don't know what I would have done in that situation, but I don't know if I could have participated in the search party, especially next to the zoo.
Here's also part of it, too, is... One, yes, she is a good friend of mine. She is maybe even a listener to the podcast. But I also...
Well, in that case...
No, yeah, I'm just saying it was fine. And I think she also kind of knew that. But you know what? I'm going to do everything I can. But they did see the cat. They got a call. They saw the cat Thursday. So, I mean, it's around.
Saw the cat or a cat that looks similar?
This cat, it has a noticeable gut. Hence, Smush. It has a very rotund figure.
Interesting.
Which is shocking to me that it managed to get out so far. You would think it would be either near the food or want to stay near the food.
Right,
so,
yeah. This is so far just a wild story.
So that was part of my Saturday.
Cool.
It was a good time.
So what I've been doing,
yeah,
and this is going to be an absolute shock to all of our fans and listeners, I have been reading webtoons. I know.
How dare you?
The hard part is I can't read, so it's just like...
the pictures look cool.
I'm like, wow, cool picture.
Yes, perfect.
But no, so I've read one that I highly recommend, which is Weak Hero.
Yes, you brought this up. I have yet to even remotely check it out. So
it's phenomenal, and I think... I don't know if it's going to be possible to really do an anime out of it, because it's like pretty edgy.
Well, that hasn't stopped some in the past, I would say.
It's basically like all these high schools are all competing to be the number one gangster, essentially.
It just sounds like Out of High School with gangsters.
I don't know.
Fair.
It's a lot more like
street fighting,
like
not like
curb
organized.
stomping and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I'd watch it.
Dude, it's a great freaking manhwa.
And that's a Weak Hero, right?
Yes.
There's Solo Leveling is the other one I heard.
Yeah,
was
but
pretty good.
I don't know what's going on. It's like completely not on WEBTOON anymore.
Oh, you did say it just dropped off the map.
I don't know what's going on.
Man, that's the one that art for that looked really good.
Well, I was
really
only like
cool.
3 or 4 chapters in, and then it just vanished. I'm like, fuck.
How does chapters work on a webtoon? Like, is it just like they just kind of smash the panels together, then you just go to the next chapter, or is it one continuous just content line, essentially?
So basically, you just scroll, and it's like top down.
Oh,
so
okay.
Whichever bubble is the highest is the one you read first. It could be on the left, it could be on the right, whatever.
Interesting.
But there's never any bullshit where there's like all these bubbles on the same line, and you're like, okay, do I read right to left or left to right? That's not a problem.
Okay,
that's generally cool. It is left to right anyway.
Right. So
which is good for me because I can't do the other way around. But the way it goes is you get to the end of the chapter, and then there's like a comment section. And then if you keep scrolling, it'll just go to the next chapter.
Oh.
So it'll like just take you to a new chapter.
So these are never meant for print. Like it never was.
Correct.
It's literally webtoon. Duh.
It's amazing.
It's kind of this manhwa manga style, content medium, but designed from the ground up to be electronic first and only.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Okay.
So I do want to say, though, so obviously I suggest reading that one, but God of High School.
Okay.
So you know we had like a lot of concerns and questions about like the plot and everything?
It ramped up at a very brisk pace, yes.
So everything and every problem I've heard a lot of people have with the show is completely answered within the first like...
Really?
10 chapters maybe.
Okay.
So you know how Mira, it seemed like out of nowhere that she got married?
Yeah, right.
Her family's in like insane financial distress.
Oh,
like
interesting.
Insane financial distress.
Never, I don't know if that kind of came across on screen a little bit.
It didn't really.
Right, but they're showing some disarray. She really didn't have much, obviously, but you're right. We never know that shit from the way they told the story. So,
and then her, I guess it's cousin, the one that was like all over in the show. Well, in the actual manhwa, she's like resents Mira a little bit because she got like first child's like basically all the new shit,
all the bells and whistles.
She's like, why do I always have to get like the secondhand stuff when Mira came to live with us? So there's a little bit of like tension there that kind of forced her to go get married to the super rich guy because she's seeing all these like notices of like foreclosure bills and stuff, all the school bills for her cousin. Imagine how much better that is.
Yeah, that would have made a lot more sense.
An explanation of why she just randomly decides to marry this guy.
Well, yeah, right. We know his motive, obviously, to pull her and the moon sword style in. But you're right. She had no motive other than I want to keep this alive, so I'm going to use his resources. I'm just using him, blah. It still felt hand-fisted, but that's complex. That's great. Why?
And it literally took one chapter to like clear that up. So I decided what they really needed to do was make this a 24 episode season.
Gotcha. Right.
So to allow for some of these like explanations that they just like kind of rolled over to be explained, because the other thing I was thinking about, and this is actually from another podcast I was just listening to, I'm like, they talked about an interview with somebody from MAPPA.
Oh, cool.
Who was talking about the new season of Attack on Titan that they're going to do.
Yes.
And explaining basically like MAPPA's just an absolute shit show right now because there's so much going on.
Oh, they just have more.
And I'm thinking, they did Dorohedoro. They did freaking
Great Pretender. They did God of High School. They're doing Attack on Titan all at the same time. I'm thinking to myself, no shit that everything's like getting kind of cursory stuff, or at least one of them's got to fall, right? That's the thing, right?
And this was clearly the one that fell.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're saying that some eggs had to go elsewhere.
100%.
And because I almost also maybe blame Crunchyroll a little bit, because they're the ones who marketed this as a super high octane action where you were telling me that there is a lot more nuance in some of these scenes that we felt were just kind of like, why did this happen this way? The pacing is super off. Maybe it's because they marketed and highlighted some aspects and they just totally left others out, which it sounds like they shouldn't have. Maybe they just made some bad decisions.
Yeah, and I just think in a lot of ways, the explanations within the actual show were just bad. Yeah. For instance, what is your opinion of Taijin in the show?
He's a badass, like super strong dude, right?
Yeah, but like, what's the deal with him?
I don't know why he's even wanted by Nox. Like, he's recruited forcibly.
So here's the deal.
Okay.
He was this special soldier that they trained in this thing they called Renewal Taekwondo, that the government of Korea made up to combat the North Korean style, which was all about killing.
Whoa.
So they created this Renewal Taekwondo. They sent 500 soldiers to North Korea, and he's the only one that came back.
Holy shit. And you find out in those...
He comes back, and he beats the shit out of the 6.
Bro.
Like, because they want him now to basically, like...
lead the charge, I guess.
I don't know what exactly they want to do with him, but...
Right.
Their fight was so insane, it blew away 10% of the land mass of Korea.
Why have we... That is so badass. Why did we get none of that? Oh, that is so upsetting. Wow.
You know the 6 member with the arm missing?
Yeah.
Taijin took his arm.
What the fuck?
I know.
God of High School, Crunchyroll. You can't do us dirty like that.
The story
Leaving
is
these
so
sweet,
much better.
juicy details out like that.
It's so much better.
Fuck.
Because it makes more sense now why the guy wanted to train Jin or Mori.
Yeah, right.
He's like, oh, that animal's grandson. He actually tried to kill him when he first met him.
Yeah, you're right.
He tried to stab him through the heart, but Mori was so fast, he basically distanced him with his foot and survived. And he's like, wow, this kid's got a lot of
spunk. Yeah.
And then it actually explained what the deal was with the freaking fruit that he eats.
The sage fruit. What the fuck? Again, they never touch it again. Is it just was it a physical test of bodily fortitude? Is that really just all it was, or did it have a bigger? It's actually a bigger purpose.
It's subconscious fortitude. So it has a lot to do with bringing your Chariok to max strength.
Oh, gotcha.
But the idea is if you eat those, I forget what they call them, something like demon seeds or some shit.
Okay.
Basically, if you're not strong enough, subconsciously, you'll lose your mind.
You just go mad. Wow.
And so they expect most people to die when they eat them.
Right.
And then when he survives and kicks the shit out of Q, they're like, what the hell?
You were not supposed to do that.
Right. So just saying, if you guys felt like we did, and I'm sure a lot of people did about God of High School, this is one situation where, normally I would say you'd be fine just watching the anime. But I actually think the anime in this case actually that's really screwed the pooch.
Right. And I know we are an anime podcast first and foremost, and I know there are a lot of people out there that's oh, the manga did it different, or the manga had a better this and that. And there are famous examples in the space, Soul Eater, where, the disparity is so great, so distant that you just have to endorse the manga. And here we're endorsing the manhwa, the webtoon. So I'll read it. Sounds fun. It's free to access, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. I'm very into it.
It's way more comedy based than the actual show was too. Wow. It's essentially a comedy.
Wow. Damn.
I know.
It's just a better work. It's just a better work.
It's just way different. I think obviously how much work they probably had to put into all these fight scenes is probably what ate up all the budget to give us story.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is definitely one case where I'm gonna say, unfortunately, you should read the manhwa to at least get a base knowledge of what's supposed to be going on. Especially the stuff with Taijin, because I'm just in the show I thought he was part of the Six. I think I even said that on the episode.
Yeah, I think so he wasn't part of them, and that would also make a lot of sense. The Six having a personal vendetta against him would give Park Mujin a lot of reason why he is pushing Jin Mori so hard.
You want to know the weirder thing?
Uh-oh. Is there more weird?
It's so weird.
Give me the weird.
Mori knew where he was the whole time.
What? Wait, what do you mean?
His grandpa, he knows where he is.
Is that a huge spoiler? How?
Before anything happens, he knows where he is. He's on a mountain in a cottage. Then when we see him in the show, when the Nox comes to fight him, that's after Mori told them where he was.
Oh, holy shit. They just, okay.
So basically,
why it takes 5 seconds of on-screen time.
I know.
To clear up so many weird pacing issues. You're right. Should have been 24. They should have flushed it out. But what are you gonna do?
I guess nothing. But it was just really odd to me. Yeah. And it's just
decisions, man. It's just
like you say, such small things that they could add in to really just kind of clear up the story and give us a solid, basically direction to go from.
Would you, now that you've read into the manhwa, knowing what it could have been, would you rank God of High School lower now, knowing what they omitted? Right. Whatever you scored it, would you keep it where it was at? Because I think for
I'd say probably, and that's probably one of the main reasons I don't read anything is because
I can't.
Well, obviously it all looks like squiggles to me, but
of course.
But no, I mean it's sort of in a lot of IPs, like Harry Potter, for instance, I was able to easily separate the two.
Yeah.
Right? I could be like, the book is so much better, but it's also 800 pages. Of course it's better.
So it's just how you want to digest that material, but
right.
You're then, with a show like that, it's going through another lens of changes and edits and, creative choices, which, the closer to the source material, the more true to whatever the original thinker was supposed to be. So everyone's always, I'm not the biggest fan of, the book was better than the movie camp. You're allowed to have those opinions.
Well, it's always true, though. I think we all need to understand they're not the same thing.
Of course, that's my thing.
The
they're
book
different.
is always better.
Apples and oranges.
You can compare those. They're both fruit.
They're both fruit. Fair enough. But I think that's what
apples and chocolate bars.
apples and anthrax. Two different
steel
things.
balls.
But yeah, that's a good God of High School follow up.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of drop that for y'all in case you felt like we did.
Yeah. A disservice. We kind of shat on it a little bit, which we kind of did. Just a hair.
I think it was warranted. Like we weren't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It was warranted, but like knowing that God of High School, as it was originally conceived, had all of the fixes. They just chose not to put it in. So,
right.
Yeah. But today, if you were a syllabus sidebar person, which you can be for $3 and up on our Discord, Patreon, I keep doing that. I suggested to Ethan I wanted to do a topic kind of more meta, like we used to back in the day. We did know favorite main characters, favorite villains. I wanted to have a discussion about favorite sidekicks in anime. The Pikachus to every Ash, the ones that are both, the fun and fluffies to the fierce and frightening and everything in between. But it feels as though the trope of sidekick is common, but I think I have a different working definition than I first when I thought about this topic. Because who are I'll ask you, Pikachu, Renji from Bleach, Ario Speedwagon from JoJo, are they all sidekicks? Are all these sidekicks?
Renji is not a sidekick. The
okay.
other two are.
Right. Okay. So there is clearly a discrepancy. I guess before we say some of our favorites in shows and how they're used, where do you think the line is drawn between sidekick and just a side character? They're kind of moved away from the delegation of sidekick because there's a line somewhere.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like what the character does for the show.
Right. Okay. So if they're more in service of the plot rather than the main character or a character, right?
That's what I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Because I recently watched ReZero recently. I think in Puck is Amelia's spirit familiar essentially.
He's def a sidekick.
Sidekick central. Yeah. But I mean, there are others. I brought up Armin from Attack on Titan. I would call him sidekick. I'd call him sidekick.
Okay.
Well, you said no before we started. I was just curious of your thoughts.
Yeah,
on
obviously he's definitely not a sidekick.
What do you mean?
He takes over the mantle of like the Irwin coming up with all the plans and like being the smart guy.
I guess
he like has a massive role near the end of the series. So like,
that's what it is. Yeah, because the plot basically gives him his own silo of importance. Like, if he is not, basically his whole importance isn't his proxy to Eren.
He was early on easily a sidekick, right? So like he literally had no reason to do anything. He was just following Eren.
Right.
But then when he like got involved,
right,
and then he became a serious character. So I find that really hard to believe that people would think that he's a sidekick.
I think it's just how it starts. You're right. I think it's just how it starts to kind of slot him into that role. But that is, I think, a good, plot device. A sidekick gone side character. You kind of have this empty, unmolded shell of a sidekick in the beginning, and then they grow into their own. Kind of like a show we'll talk about next week in Tokyo Ravens, Khan. Kind of very, very late game. You'll hear that episode next week. But yeah, I think one of my favorite sidekicks, honestly, are the ones that the main character cannot be relevant without them. Think Miggy from Parasite. Main character there is no main character without Miggy. But Miggy feels very sidekick companion-y, right? Would that mean basically his importance to the plot is more than the main characters technically, for it to be like in terms of driving the story?
That's a really tough one, not gonna lie.
Yeah, right.
Because he really is like his own character.
Exactly, right. And he has other characters he can talk to that are like of his alien type. So I mean, he has influence, he has weight and purpose, but to me, he still just feels, maybe it's just the creature thing, the creature aspect.
I would say definitely, if there is a separation of like a species,
yeah, right,
it certainly helps you kind of think that they're not quite like side character status, right?
Right.
I'd say this is a difficult question. I'm not really sure what the answer is.
Yeah,
I think it has to do with gravity to plot and whether they're just kind of leaned on for like specific reasons or not, right? Like,
yeah,
I would almost say early on, Raphtalia is just a means to an end.
Yes, exactly.
So she is sidekick.
Okay.
But she becomes side character.
Yeah, because when you hear about her home and then like basically, are you saying that backstory is kind of a mainstay for that transformation from a sidekick to a side character? The more backstory they're thrown, the more that they are.
Yeah, I mean more. I guess plot.
Yeah.
Drive that a character gets.
Yeah.
Or plot inclusion. I think will determine whether they stay the sidekick or become the side character. An example.
Yes.
I think Hinata.
Interesting.
Can be considered way side character, sidekick territory.
Yeah.
Like basically a sidekick to freaking Neji.
Yeah, right.
And then becomes way more important to the plot as time goes on.
Exactly. But now you kind of got my gears turning. What about Kurama? Sidekick or side character?
Kurama
the Nine-Tailed Fox.
Okay.
So
I thought you meant from
No, I know what you're saying. No. This is the Nine-Tailed Fox. Is that a side character or a sidekick to Naruto?
Character.
Really? He's literally a sidekick. Like that's his whole shtick is like he helps the main character directly in their goal. I don't know.
Because he's a very daunting force for like 90% of the show.
He doesn't really have a lot of agency though, right? His only agency is manipulating the main character, I guess. All of what he does is in service of the main character, for better or worse. So that's where I think I draw my line, is that if your entire existence in the plot is in service to a main character or another character in general, think all the summons in Naruto, right? Sidekicks. With like the tailed beasts in general.
I think that's totally fair. Gamabunta would be a sidekick, 100%.
Right.
He is a side character, as in he has his own story, but like to the audience, he's absolutely a sidekick.
So I think it's a matter of agency, right? I think it's how much. It's not necessarily how.
Like I would even say, WEBTOON from Yu Yu Hakusho. Sidekick.
Yep.
Firmly in that realm.
Definitely.
But Kuwabara, side character.
Yeah, for sure. Which is interesting because he definitely started out like he just has like, I think Joey Wheeler. To me, he's so sidekick. Like, I'm literally here to fight for you, Yugi. That's so how a lot of these people start out, and then you have an option. Do you keep them there and they stay there, or I think it's all about agency. If you don't have any agency that the plot allows you to act of your own accord in maybe direct opposition to the main character or the character that they're tied to, and the sidekick, they're just a sidekick. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know about this topic, man. I feel like it's 100% a semantic topic.
Yeah. Because
I think everybody's going to have a different definition.
Right.
About what makes a character a sidekick and a side character.
We're the professors. We can put this
I understand
shit
that, but
stone.
even you and I aren't agreeing. So, like,
Well, that's a discussion. So I mean, favorite like bad side characters, bad sidekicks. Honestly, the demon, the vampire chick from Arifreda, awful.
Yeah, pretty terrible.
Pretty fucking bad.
A good one, Ranga.
Ranga.
The wolf, the demon wolf or whatever from Slime.
Yes. Holy shit. She basically.
I think I think sidekick, pure service to main character.
Right.
Side character has his own sort of arc.
Yes. Like Nezuko-chan.
Yeah, 100% a side character.
Could be my favorite. I've noticed that there's a perfect correlation between the amount that they speak and the cuter they are and more popular because Pikachu, one word, baby. One of the most popular ever. Nezuko-chan, emotes only. Super, super high popular. The real chatty ones, come on. Get that shit out of my face.
For instance, your side character is Zenitsu.
Or, is it Colin from Bleach?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, he's interesting because he has, his whole arc. They have a whole, that's filler. It's filler arc.
But I really feel like he is a sidekick because he is fully there as a plot device to help Ichigo.
Right. And sidekicks are the ones doing those, anime narrative things. Like, they're overly explaining stuff because they used to be panels with all the words on them, so they would just say that shit out. Oh, he's using this unlimited bloodline technique, blah, 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 blah. That's side character material.
100%.
100%.
Well, no, sidekick material.
Yeah, sidekick material. Yes. We're going down this linguistic rabbit hole with this one.
This is a disaster of ourselves.
But, I mean, yeah, a good side character should be one that, spurs the main character to actually do something while also being, engaging in their own way. I mean, Renji is probably one of the best side characters I can think of, frankly. He does both so clean. But
yeah, totally.
Kind of really relegates himself to bullshit later. But he just grows. He's more like a Vegeta type. They always just kind of grow in rivalry a little bit. Yeah,
I mean, I'd say that's one show where the only real rivalry that kind of stays solidly, one person takes the lead, the next person kind of catches up, yada yada.
Yeah,
would be him and Ryu.
Right. Oh yeah.
But other than that, Chad falls off heavy, Orihime falls off, Renji falls off. In comparison.
So does longevity even matter for a good side character? I mean, if they're used in the right way in the moment and they just
Renji's always important, though. It's not like he just stops being important to the plot or stops showing up. It's just that they're no longer really, competing against each other.
Fair, yeah. That's a shonen thing. That's how you rope in enemies into side character snowball.
Yeah.
Just scoop them in.
Yep.
I'm going to beat you, and then I'm going to be really nice to you, and then you're going to realize I'm a great guy. And if you're smart, maybe you can go as long as Renji can.
Even Genjao.
Even Genjao knows. Oh, man. But, I was just thinking, because when I was watching Tokyo Ravens, I'm like, why does every, battle show seem to have some kind of familiar like that? Like a Kong, like a little, almost beastly.
Well, I mean, in
cute.
that case, it literally is a familiar. Absolutely is a sidekick.
Right.
Right, and so that's why I mentioned. Oh shit, Raphtalia.
Yeah. Right.
In the beginning, absolutely, she fits in that exact role.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Arifreda. Basically, every character that isn't the main guy. Hajime, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Is a sidekick, 100%.
That's a harem problem too, right? I mean, That's maybe why I'm not a big harem guy, because none of it is fucking believable. Okay. Harem, tiny harem rant. A good harem is when you have interesting people all kind of interacting with a central point of someone who is interesting enough, worth having that. I think Clash of the Elite, I keep going back to, is that our main boy, what was his name again? Hayono Koji.
Yeah,
Ayano Koji, that's it. Ayano Koji, he is an interesting enough guy to deserve a harem. He's apathetic. He's not a dunce, which a lot of the harem leads are. How can you not tell she likes you × 7? But he is interesting enough to have good side characters as part of the harem. Everyone else in other shows I see, there just seem to be sidekicks because it's like a romantic power fantasy. But I don't know.
This is a good one. Akamaru.
Huh.
He's pure sidekick to whatever that guy's name is.
I need more than that.
His master, whatever his name is, I don't know.
Oh, right. What show are we talking about here?
Naruto.
Oh,
Akamaru, the little dog.
Oh, okay. Kiba.
Yeah.
Kiba is the name of the character.
I don't know the name of the character.
No, yeah. So that's a great. I guess that's great sidekick material. Literally only there to serve. There's some like iconic duos in this way.
I mean, the little kitty cat from Sailor Moon as well.
Yeah, Luna, and I forgot what the other one's name is. But yeah, it always seems like it's like a common trope. I don't know if that goes back to like Japanese adherence to like spirits being, in everything of everything. Which just seems to have like a familiar or a sidekick like that. Or maybe they're just their love of mascots. They love themselves some fucking mascots.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Because I think it's a common thing you see in almost every basic show like that. Like even if it smells, not even if it's not supernatural or not, just you're gonna have a sidekick. A toyable.
I'm sure it has a
sellable.
lot to do with the spirits, like you mentioned, because I think that's like even like, just regular shows like or universes like Harry Potter, right? Like the house elves, the fairies, things like that. They're like little small things,
right,
that kind of permeate through lore in general to explain like why you lost your keys or that kind of thing.
Right. Man, maybe it's just I want a flying cat or a tiny dragon dog. I just want. Is that too much to ask for?
Sushi is so fucking cute.
That's all I want, man. I just want that.
I think that's fair. So let's morph this into like a best side character kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Since
best side character.
Since sidekicks are really like few and far between because they really don't mean anything to the story.
That's true. And I guess that's where I was trying to draw the line of like, okay, best side characters. Renji's up there for me. Vegeta has one of the best, and I mean best character arcs for a side character in any probably shonen for sure. Who's your favorite side character in One Piece? Give it to the fans.
Well, I was gonna say sidekick could be Tony Chopper, the little
reindeer boy,
because he's pretty much fucking useless. Sorry to all you
One
Piece fans. I mean, he's a doctor, but like,
is he a good doctor? You got something cut off? I'll cut it. I'm good at that.
The thing that's hilarious about that is like his bounty is like 50 berries or 100 berries or something because they literally think of him as a pet. Like the world government thinks he's their pet.
That's
so
funny.
they give him like a ridiculously low berry count and Luffy's is like 1 billion or whatever at some points.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's just like that's definitely a comedy device, but also certainly can be seen as like even the world is setting him as a sidekick.
Yes.
Side character, I mean, I'd say anyone on the Straw Hat crew would be considered like a strong side character.
If you had to pick your favorite of the crew.
Easy, Zoro.
Yeah, that everyone seems to go for Zoro. Doesn't he historically get lost
Yeah.
anywhere he goes?
He has no sense of direction at all.
I love that. I guess that sets him up to have his own like side character beefiness, right? He's just like, oops, got lost again. Now I'm on my own, so I have to have exposition. Time.
I think his thing is like, and I think this has a lot to do with like what makes a really good character in general.
Yeah.
Like a Naruto type or a Zoro type, a Luffy type. They all have like a goal that they're all going after that is super strong.
100. Killua is the exception at first for me. His only goal is, I'll just do whatever you're doing. I'm just going, what do you want to do?
Yeah,
right.
But
I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. They don't, like, Kilo was the exception. Hunter
I mean, like, you brought in the absolute only exception to the rule. And like,
you're right.
I don't even know if it exactly applies to the situation that I'm trying to say.
Very true. You're probably right on that one. But yeah, if they have a goal that's kind of like coinciding with the overall plot, but they have their own agendas, that's really cool. There's who was you thinking of? Red hair guy from Assassination Classroom.
Karma.
Yeah. Fantastic side character.
100%.
Yeah.
He's absolutely, like, I would say he's probably my favorite character on that whole show.
Yeah. You notice when you're like, yeah, this is a good this, but like that character, like Shoto in My Hero Academia, also great. Very well robust background in terms of like story, motives, agendas are not exactly in line with Deku's, but it's still to the end goal of becoming a hero, but for his own reasons. That show, if you want to talk about good side characters, except for diaper baby great boy, he's just
so yeah, Mineta's definitely more sidekick material.
Yeah, for
but,
sure.
I mean, even Bakugo I don't think is a good character.
Really?
He's not a good side character.
I kind of like him.
His goal is to be the #1 hero by being an asshole to everybody. Like, let's just call it like it is.
Spade is spade,
Exactly.
a dick's a dick. And he's just he just has anger issues. If you think if you just simmer down,
he's just an asshole.
He's just an
He's not
asshole.
even nice. So speaking of,
yes,
I just wanted to. I just got to bring this up, man. This is one of these problems that the world faces that I feel like nobody wants to talk about.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, some heroes don't wear capes. Some heroes wear Under Armour quarter-zip pullovers.
Specific, continue.
Yeah. And I just want to talk about this insane topic that nobody talks about, and I just feel like we gotta bring it out in front of everybody.
Break the news.
What is up with Big Orchard and their insane money grubbing, oiling all the greasy palms of all the doctors in the world to come up with the slogan, "An apple a day will keep the doctor away"?
Big Orchard.
I mean, what's up with Big Orchard, and why is nobody talking about it?
Well, because, you know, if you talk about it, they'll
kill you.
They'll pluck you from the tree, as they say. You know, hey, we're not murderers. We're just simple farmers. But accidents happen every day.
I'm just saying, how is nobody talking about it?
Because everyone that has talked about it,
Gone.
Done.
I mean, an apple a day keeps the freaking doctor away.
So
like,
Big Pharma and Big Orchard got into a room and said, look, for the next infinity years of human existence, we're going to make sure these kids are eating motherfucking apples.
and is that even true? Like,
it can't be
I
true.
eat apples every day, and look how unhealthy I am.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away, but 2 brings them right fucking back.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, man. I think you just uncovered something. Are
I'm just saying,
we in danger now?
I think it's clear to me that there's some massive conspiracy. I think probably the biggest one in the U.S. right now is definitely Big Orchard.
Big Orchard. They're going to make it 38 minutes into this episode. That's gone way off the rails. And it's like, hey, we got one. Take him out. What about that Ricky guy? He looks like he's playing along. Let's see what he says so far. Smash cut back to me. Big Orchard needs to fucking get looked at microscope
I'm just
style.
saying, look into it.
Shit. We're both going down now. What is a conspiracy theory that you actually might believe? I know I have one ever.
The moon is cheese.
Moon is cheese. Has anyone ever eaten stuff from the moon? How do we know it's not cheese?
That's right. You go first, and I'll try to think of
so the only conspiracy theory I heard a long time ago that I put the tinfoil hat on, and I was just like, you know what? Let's dive into some of these.
You're right. The Earth is flat.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's a polygon for sure, but I don't know how many sides it has. So back when the NSA was basically doing facial tracking to get better at their guessing the faces of people that have gone missing, like here's what they look like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, to just help with facial recognition. They needed to find a way to get pre-internet pictures online in the advent of Facebook and stuff.
I know what you're talking about.
So they started a grassroots movement to get that stuff called Throwback Thursday, to get more people to put younger pictures of themselves online so they can have more data to track, aging and machine learning to show aging. So I do fucking believe that. I really genuinely do.
I think that's totally possible. Like, there's nothing really, like, improbable about that.
And birds aren't real, obviously.
What?
Yeah, they aren't. Have you ever read that guy's manifesto?
What?
Birds aren't real. They're all eradicated. There's like 1.2 billion birds in North America, and back in the Reagan era, the U.S. government got rid of them all and replaced them by bots so they can surveil people. Listen, you laugh, but the guy's website, birdsaren'treal.com, I think it's what it's called, is the scrawlings of a madman, but it's so much work. It's truly a manifesto. He's thought everything through.
Is he dumb? Just go capture one.
That's what I'm saying. They're all of them aren't real, and the ones that are there meant to throw us off the scent.
What an idiot.
I'm not kidding.
This sounds like such a fake. That can't be real.
You like the website. The website is real. Hold on a second. The website is real, but it isn't. But birds aren't real, so it's whatever.
I think there's quite a few that could be probable.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I feel like, there's this one basically that we did land on the moon, but that footage is from like literally a Hollywood basement.
Yeah,
I think that could be possible.
You would basically need it to be filmed, right? Because there needs to be, it's a propaganda thing.
100%.
It makes sense. It gets us jacked up all about the space race, baby.
I just don't know how like our film technology at that point in time would deal with the harshities of space.
Birds aren't real, and they have merch.
Of course they do.
Oh god,
I could get behind that one.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's
Possibly.
like, I mean, I think a lot of the ones about like the early FBI, the NSA, the CIA doing like really messed up shit in like our country and other countries.
Yeah.
Also totally plausible.
I mean, I have to agree. 'Cause I mean, for everything that does get out into the news, that's basically bombshells. There's 10,000 that we just don't know.
Right.
And almost I think it's calculated like, yeah, let this one thing slip. And we'll be like, we're sorry, it's all good. We'll stop that. It's fine. And behind the scenes, the other 999 things that they didn't say, it's like, woo, glad those didn't get out.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have this weird like opinion that they want to know everything that the government does, and I'm like, I really don't think you do.
I prefer to be a little ignorance is bliss situation here.
I mean, did you hear about that whole like? I forget what it's called. It's like not Moscow 1999 or something, but the thing where they had that guy stay up for like 300 days or whatever.
Oh yeah.
What's it called?
It's like this. It's like a sleep experiment.
Yeah, it's like creepy as shit.
While you're looking that up, we'll bring this back to anime just for a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe whatever.
The Russian sleep experiment copy pasta.
Oh gosh, but is it copy pasta or is it real?
It's a story.
It's a story. Okay.
I think it's probably real. Let's be real.
It's probably real.
But anyway, they literally they kept a bunch of people up in this basically gas chamber and made them stay up for weeks, and they all ended up eating each other and stuff like that.
Jesus.
But they would keep them up with like drugs and shit.
It's spooky time.
And then eventually, there's only one guy left that was up, but it's just dark in this place.
Yeah.
And they didn't know if anyone was awake. Right. So they would constantly try to reach out to him. And eventually they're like, okay, well, we're going to put them all to sleep. And he was started losing it when they're talking about putting him to sleep. He's like, whoa, I can't ever do that again.
So he can't go back to sleep.
Right.
Wow. That's insane. It is spooky time.
Read the actual copy pasta because it's pretty wild.
I think I might do that later.
And it's terrifying.
I need a good spooky anime. I feel like I need a maybe this coming week or so, shove a bunch of spooky animes in my brain.
I mean, is there even that many?
Erased to be a good one. Parasite's a good one.
I wouldn't say those are spooky.
I haven't seen Hellsing in a long time. That'd be pretty cool.
I guess that's kind of spooky.
Yeah, what's the best horror anime that isn't Shiki?
There's that new kind of ghost stories of Hishitami or something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know when it's coming out, but they're doing Uzumaki by Junji Ito. That, I am so unbelievably hyped for that. Like, truly one of the weirdest minds in horror. I very much want that in my life. Madoka Magic was pretty scary.
Oh, it's called Yamashibai Japanese Ghost Stories.
I think I saw that on Crunchyroll.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe we'll do someone in the Discord or something suggest some good, like, real scary, psych thriller animes. I know there's
keeping in mind I'm a complete wuss.
Really? You're not scary? You're not into horror very much? I love horror shit.
I don't enjoy it now, but I have this weird thing where I am susceptible to be scared.
Yes.
But I can also just like instantly turn it off as well.
Right.
Which is really odd.
Yeah, I was going to say that is kind of an odd quality.
For instance, we went to this OWL Grand Final Championship.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The Overwatch League in Philadelphia last, like, late September, I think maybe early October.
Right.
So they opened basically a lot of their, like, haunted house things starting then.
Okay.
And there's this one, I don't know what the name of that jail is up there, but it's this old, like, really...
Eastern Penn.
Maybe.
Yeah.
A famous but, like, haunted jail. And so they make it into this insane, like, theoretically scary...
Is that the one where they kept Al Capone?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's supposed to be this insane, scary, like, haunted house thing.
Okay.
And there's, like, two options. There's, like, the one where they can, like, grab you and throw you into different rooms and shit and, like, scare you on your own.
It sounds like some waiver shit you got to sign for
you
sure.
do have to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
Or the one where you can just, like, walk through the haunted house, which I had to do because my knee was all jacked up still, and I didn't want people, like, grabbing
you, and you have to pivot yourself on a bum knee.
Not a fan.
No.
But I don't know, like, my friends that I was with are, like, do haunted houses all the time, but even they were, like, scared.
Right.
And then when I'm doing it, I'm just, like, laughing at these fucking people wearing all these costumes and shit. I'm like, yeah, you're creepy.
Yes, this is
but,
not
like, I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, I don't fear for my life here. And isn't that always something I found funny, that, like, people... I wouldn't say I do like haunted houses. I like scary games, scary movies. I love that shit. I love being scared in that way. But, like, haunted houses and stuff, people I know, like you say, do them as a hobby, and they're still pissing themselves terrified. I'm like, at some point, wouldn't you think?
That's when I, like, can turn it off. I'm like, I'm paying to go to this thing. Like,
right. Yeah.
I'm obviously not going to be afraid of it.
Right.
Like, do you remember the one downtown here? It was in, like, the old, like, corner building or something.
Yeah, where the marble slab is now.
Is that true?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, that one was scary to me in high school.
That was a good one.
But I'm thinking now, the only thing that was, like, insanely annoying / scary was this guy had a chainsaw, and he would, like, get it so close to you while it's running.
Yeah.
It's, like, so loud.
Yeah, I paid for ear damage. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, bro.
My canals are bloody, but you didn't touch them.
But I will say the one thing that, like, genuinely does scare me is, like, spirits and, like, ghosts, like, legit ones.
Yes, I love ghost stories.
Do you remember 8th grade St. Augustine trip?
Yes, I do, with the lighthouse.
The whole, like, ghost stories.
Yeah.
Well, we did the lighthouse, but it was also it was like a downtown version of that as well in St. Augustine. I was pissing myself, dude. I do not fucks with that.
No names, but do you remember the chick that was taking a picture of the inside of that jail cell by the lighthouse, and they kept coming out black, and it's because she was covering the camera.
No.
When the mics pop off, I'll tell you the name, and you'll know. Oh, that chick.
Just initials, easy.
KT.
No.
Yes.
That's not surprising at all.
No, it isn't at all. I know. Oh, good times. But yeah, now you got me in a spook mood. I want to watch some scary animes. So people suggest me. I want a scary anime, boy. I want to be scared.
I think it's pretty. like reasonable to start with that ghost stories of Sabashima or whatever the hell.
Yeah. Is that the one that looked like a Kabuki theater looking thing? There's one they had on.
It looks like an old man with this creepy ass face in a doorway.
Ah, I might actually start with those then. That sounds fun.
I mean, it's called like Japanese ghost stories. So
and Japanese do horror real good. They do horror real good.
Yeah.
But where are we at?
50 minutes.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're just riffing in this episode. It's kind of light, a free-forming, syllabus sidebar-y.
Sorta, yeah. This is, if you do want to go ahead and pay for that Patreon and listen to our basically absolute sick bonus podcast of its own self, it's very similar to this.
Yep. Sometimes anime, sometimes not. Kind of riffy.
We talk some anime. We talk a bunch of other rando shit.
We'll be back next week with some more structured shit with a picture to Redux.
We talk all about Big Orchard.
There'll be a follow-up to Big Orchard on the syllabus sidebar. But yeah, so if you want to listen with your ears and your eyes to stuff like this, hello YouTube gang. We may run out of battery next week, which is fine, I guess. But if you want to listen with your ears and not your
Ricky
eyes,
has to do something.
Shut your whore mouth. It takes just forever to render.
I told you.
I know. Just put it on the cloud. If you want to listen with your ears and not your eyeballs, so I don't have to do that kind of work, you can check us out anywhere you get your podcast fix: Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, and everything in between. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. It helps us pop up when other people are watching anime content.
Speaking of,
oh yeah, we got that really nice comment. That
we did, but I put up a video on Wednesday.
Yes, you did. What if Naruto and Sasuke should have been taken in by the third Hokage?
Yeah, I said the third Hokage should have raised Naruto and Sasuke.
And I think that would have made for, well, you know what? Go listen to the video and go watch that sucker and find out how our thoughts about it.
Fork it.
Yeah, fork it over.
But we're going to try to do, or at least I will, try to do more videos sort of like that.
Yeah, I have
not only Naruto
down.
space, but I care a lot about it. I think the lore is really cool.
The what ifs will be really cool, I think.
Yeah.
The one we were talking about, I think that one super rip. The sins.
That's not really a what if.
Well, I mean, just that topic, just that video would be dope. So.
I agree. I'm pretty excited about that.
Let's see. Go on Instagram with a little more eye candy love at WeebologyPodcast. We got memes on news, and sometimes giveaways, which I think I might like to do one for like a Christmas time, like a nice Christmas giveaway. Okay. Be the Santa of ourselves. Give it to them. I'll be Santa, you be Claus. How's that?
I am Klaus.
Yes.
My name is Klaus.
Twitter at WeebologyP, and if you want to hit us up on our email and suggest anime we should watch, like the spooky ones, weebologypodcast at gmail.com. Please, I want to be spooked for the both of us.
Thanks. Yeah, I really could do without it. I might watch some of those ghost stories, but if they're actually too scary, I will not continue them.
Well, how's this? I'll watch the scary anime. You deep dive into Big Orchard, and we'll reconvene on the sidebar.
Gladly.
Yeah, okay. But you know what? Until next time, I'm Ricky.
And I'm Ethan.
And this has been Weebology. Deuces. That one is all over.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was
disaster.